Life in Christ is good. Christ loves you all. You are Creation 13. I'm Ambassador. I'm Starseed. And today I want to talk to you about some different things. Basically, I'm going to continue on talking about um, the Jesus character, the Christ character. And I think I'm just going to kind of scroll through it throughout these videos and kind of give you some alternative views on it. Because I've been watching the Vigilante Christian, and his viewpoints is whatever the Bible says, that's it. So, but he says if you can bring your claim based on reading the Bible, then you can create uh, conversation. So basically, this is, like I said, this is why I get kicked out of churches, because they don't get my views of things, right? Because it says clearly in the Bible, and then you just broaden the horizon more, and that's where people just kind of fall away. So I'm going to kind of give you my viewpoints on that, if that makes sense. And I also want to talk about a little thing that I talked about with this with a group of people on Facebook. Basically, uh, I had a friend on there, and he posted a picture, and they were praising him and saying, "Oh, he's such a mighty warrior, fighting the good fight, and stuff like that." They were basically idolizing him, right? So I brought this up, and I went to go find the stuff I wrote, and he deleted it all, which doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get why, because I didn't say anything um, hurtful. I just was putting questions out there, and it was making people question themselves, and it just was a very interesting conversation, but it got deleted. But I did save some of it. But basically, what I was talking about is that we should not be idolizing or worshiping um, anybody. And the whole point of it is, you know, we're here to learn and grow in our soul. We're here to become one with spirit, because spirit translates into breath. We're here to become one with spirit, with breath, with nature. um, we're here to discover the anointed one within Christ, that crystal energy, the Christ energy. Um, we're learning to become one within ourselves. We're not here to praise the physical environment. We're not here to be idolized. We're here to walk among each other. Because with this whole team light worker thing, this whole I'm opening portals, and I'm messing with the demons, with the spirits. Yeah, there may be good spirits, but there's a lot of demons here. Because like I've said, this is the epitome of hell. This illusion is hell, because it entraps you based on all of your emotions, um, and everything. It really clouds everything. Um, and they were just feeding into this. And another thing that popped up was that we are all gods. And again, I said that we are not all gods. It's the it's realizing that you are the God of your own vessel and of your own body. The kingdom of heaven dwells within you. So you are in charge of your own kingdom, of your own heaven. So therefore, you would be the God of your body, but not the God of a God of gods, right? And I was explaining to them about that, and they just didn't get that. And I was also talking about deception and how things are being on on realizing that you need to look at different viewpoints of things. I was bringing up Satan and stuff, and they were saying, I think this was what I wrote. In answer to a question, this is what the person said. I think the idea of Satan is an outdated concept, and no, I don't think that is the case. I don't think any force runs anything. I think we all have free will, and are as powerful, meaning each individual is as powerful as any force out there, out in the universe, that you think can control you. That is what true empowerment is all about. It's when you realize that nothing can control you. Okay? So that person is saying, that when we become empowered, that nothing can control you. Okay? Now, this is my response. What what power created your soul? And the creator who created your soul owns your soul. You did not create your own soul. Again, deception. Something is always controlling you and your thoughts and heart. That's how energy works. That's how synergy works. That was my response. And the point being is for one, no one responded after that. But it is the blindness of what empowerment is. Self-empowerment means that that you take control over your emotions, take control over your awareness of being. That's what self-empowerment is. Now, on a spiritual um, spiritual standpoint, becoming aware of all the spirits and everything like that, you have to learn on how to protect yourself. And to learn how to protect yourself is different than self-empowerment. Because if you just think, oh, I am protected, that don't work because you'll instantly be influenced. And despite that, you're still influenced. I'm sure there's a hidden meaning behind influence, but anyways, ill is flowing through you. Yeah, there you go. Ill is flowing through you. So basically, the demons flow through you. Life is an illusion. So the demon, the trickster, Satan, can continue to play tricks on you because it controls this reality. Um, and that was the whole thing I was getting across, And we did not create our own souls. It is impossible for us to create our own existence. Okay, something had to have created us, created our existence to be here. So therefore, again, we are not as powerful. We are not powerful as the gods. Like I said, God is plural in the Bible, so it's the gods. Um, so we're not as powerful as them because they're the ones that created our soul, not us. So again, we are not godlike. Again, it's this deception thing is just it astonishes me just how much people fall into this deception. And they were saying, well, you're just fearful of deception. I was like, no, you need to look into deception. It just seems like no matter what you talk about, somebody is going to just shelter themselves in a box. With me personally, I'm always open to everything, and I will give you a answer. It's not just this is how it is. I'm going to give you a answer to explore upon. And usually when I give them an answer, they quit. They quit talking, and it's it because they can't explain further because it hinders their belief structure or their faith structure. Again, faith and belief is leading you blindly based upon that because it's not allowing you to explore into things. And that's what I was talking about with Vigilante Christian, is that he just is so focused on the Bible, that is there's any questions that aren't in the Bible, then it's non void. So again, you don't really learn anything. But it strictly says in the Bible, and again, I won't have to find a scripture to pinpoint that, is that well, Jesus said it. He said it in either Matthew, Mark, or Luke, that he speaks in parables. So just like I am doing, I'm speaking in parables for you to go and do your research on. Okay, just like with the shirt here, um, people can interpret it whatever they want. But I came across as it soul is your soul. This is S, is awakening from death. So your soul is awakening from death. That's my interpretation of this shirt, and that's what this is. Somebody may interpret it differently, but that's what this is. This is why I wear this shirt. So if somebody asks what it is, that's exactly what I'm going to tell them. So it's learning and creating and you know inspiring and looking at different views of things. We have so much, uh, so much uh, belief structures and religions, and this whole new age thing has just gone through the roof. It's a madhouse of just a mess. It really is. Um, and again, the concept of we are all gods. Again, when Christ talks about that in the Bible, which ironically I can't find it no more, so I'm not going to say it's in the Bible anymore. But at one time, I swore I read that. Um, but again, it just means that you are in charge of your body. Um, you, and that is it. That is what it is. Just because you're getting a buff, masculine body, does that not make you, does that make you a warrior per se? You know, we're here. Those who seek who seek the soul, who seek spirit, which means breath, who seek the Christ that's within you, that crystal energy, that Christ energy, um, are going to want to inspire you to look within. It's nothing that has to do with any of these light warrior concepts. A lot of this is an illusion again. But yeah, I'm gonna keep dragging on. But basically, the point is that what I was getting across is we need to focus on you know making ourselves better and looking at ourselves that we can be self-empowered, um, that we can tackle life struggles, whether it's through emotions, personal issues, whatever it may be. It's tackling those masks that I talked about before. We wear many masks, and we just need to start taking them off until we hit one mask. Hopefully, again, that makes sense. But yeah. So just remember that that you did not create your own soul. Someone else did. So someone else owns you, controls you. Um, they can manipulate and control your thoughts and so on and so forth. Which can be the same character, demons, whatever it may be. So yeah, I found it very interesting with that whole conversation. Again, I'm pretty disappointed that the conversation was deleted, but whatever. So all I can do is just document it on my videos. So yeah. So anyways, speaking of which, I did find something interesting when I was flipping through the Bible that I'll talk about later. Was Ecclesiastes or something like that. Ecclesiastes or something like that. But basically, I guess it's about King Solomon on how everything is meaningless. Very interesting because, like, literally, I picked up my Bible and that's what opened up. And I was like, oh, that'd be good to talk about, but I'll just have to talk about it later video. So, anyways, so Christ So this is called the calling of the first disciples. So as Christ was walking beside the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon called Peter and his brother Andrew. They were casting a net into the lake, for they were fishermen. Come follow me, Christ said, and I will make you fishers of men. At once they left their nets and followed him. Going on from there, he saw two other brothers, James, son of Zebedee, and his brother John. They were in a boat with their father Zebedee, preparing their nets. Christ called them, and immediately they left the boat, and their fathers followed him. All right, so interpretation. Now, again, people focus this as just a physical thing of, oh, they were just fishing out there, and Christ just showed up, and he just chose these people, just randomly just chose these people, right? He's just like, oh, you, and you, right? Okay, so the hidden symbolism behind this stuff, okay? So we have fishermen, and we have the net with a lake, okay? So fisherman means, swimming in the lake. And that means, I talked about this before about the absolute energy, um, life's energy, God energy, right? Basically, that's what the whole universe runs off of, is absolute energy. So they were in the energy of absolute. Again, you can watch my video, I explain more about it. I don't remember all that I talked about on there. But basically that's what it meant. So then the Christ energy showed up in the Epsu waters and picked these individuals. Okay. So then we got the net. The net can also be the web. So when you're in this Epsu energy, you get caught up in the net, in the wire um, of religion, of a belief structure, or trial or tribulation type thing, type setting. That's what the representation of the net is. So it's basically an interpretation of him getting his disciples. Because I never even realized that how much of a gap these are, because it's talks about the first disciples, and then all of a sudden it talks about Christ healing the sick. So it's jumping back and forth. So you have to interpret what this means. Why they talk about the fishermen, and then all of a sudden it's talking about Jesus healing. So yeah, so looking at it from different viewpoints, that's what it means. Epsu energy, you're free. Just I guess you could use a fish for example. You're in a free flowing stream, right? Life is good. You're flowing with the energy. Because if you're a fish, you're gonna flow with the streamline. If you go against the streamline, you're gonna have a tougher road to follow. So you just go with the stream, so it's nice and smooth. But you have fishermen that throw the nets in there, right? So when you throw the nets in there, your all life is good and everything, and then all of a sudden, your life stops, and you're like, oh crap, what do I do? And you try to tug your way out of the net, and you can't swim out. They're freaking out. They're going, holy cow, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And then the fisherman picks you up out of the water in the net, and they caught you. You can look at it as an aspect of God. That somebody took your life, and now they hold your life in their hands, right? So they're in charge of your life at that moment. They can choose to kill you or put you back in that stream. That makes you a god over you. That little fish is looking at God right now, because they have the power of putting you back in the water and make you live, or killing you. So that's the aspect, and that's what I get out of this. And again, this is what I would talk about in anything because that's the whole part of interpreting what the Bible means. And again, they say, well, why do you make it so? Why do you make it so technical or difficult or reading into it more? Because you got to. You know, if you just read everything, da 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 da, you're not learning from anything. You're just basically being a zombie without asking questions. So anyway, so that's my interpretation of that. Um, is is that so? Yeah. So very interesting. So anyways, moving on. All right. So this one says Jesus heals the sick, or Christ heals the sick. I don't like using that Jesus word because, like I said in previous videos, you look up the Jesus character. Um, Jesus is a Greek name and it has nothing to do with what is in here. So that's why I say Christ. So Christ heals the sick. So Christ went throughout Galilee, teaching in their synagogues, preaching the good news of the kingdom, and healing every disease and sickness among the people. News about him spread all over Syria, and people brought to him all who were ill in various diseases, those suffering severe pain, the demon possessed, those having seizures, and the paralyzed, and he healed them. Large crowds from Galilee, the Decapolis, Jerusalem, Judah, and the region across the Jordan followed him. So looking at this now this is where it throws me off with people. Is okay. So we have this Christ character back in the day. You know, you can imagine living in this time period. Okay, not only are these people copper people, black people. Okay, that throws everything off right there. Because you know, like I said, when I grew up, I thought everybody was white people. So these are copper people for one. So that's a different story. And two, people judge the. I mean, people don't even question. You know, back then we had sorcerers and witches and magic and all that stuff, right? Now Christ did the same thing. Okay. Now how did he get away with this? And now we praise and worship him for this. For this is magic, right? This is dark magic and white magic. Okay, for healing because how do you heal? They'll say, well, you heal with the Spirit of God. What is the Spirit of God? Okay, you're working with the Spirit. You're working with the spiritual realm, and the spiritual realm deals with energy, deals with synergy, just like I said up here in the disciple one. That Epsu energy, you draw the energy in, and nature will help heal the earth and help heal others. So he was drawing in energy. He was a magician. He was a magi. Um, Again, people fail to look at this. He's a magi. He's magic. So people who worship the Christ character are also worshiping magic, the dark arts, and so on and so forth. Everything that they are against, Christ did this through that, you know. And they're like, oh no 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 no, only God was the one. Okay, so God is a spiritual energy. He is the main source of energy. So what is energy? Energy is again magic. You harness energy within your being. Look up synergy, um, spiritual energy. It's magic. It is magic. That is what it is. And there's just no denying that's what it is. Um, Again, I don't know what to really say about that. Again, I get, talk about a whole other conversation than that. So yeah, so Christ used the dark arts and the light arts of magic. Proven fact, right in the Bible. You cannot deny it because it's right in the Bible. So, and then some word I don't understand. The beta T's. Well, basically it's a teen study Bible, so it kind of lets you know what's going on. Now, when he saw the crowds, he went up on a mountainside and sat down. His disciples came to him, and he began to teach them, saying, um, I don't like to say blessed. Now, the point being is if you break down words, you can see the hidden symbolism. So we got blessed, right? B, you can cut that in half, and it's 13. So it's a 13 less. So it's less of you. You know, blessed. You take away the B, it's less. So it's less of you. Um, it is cutting your strengths in half and weakening you. 13 is a creational number that is used for many things. It's used for spells. It's used for creation. It is the birth point of all of creation. Okay, so it is the birth point of the illusion. It's everything, and I talked about this in my 13 illusion video. So you got all these blessed things, which is again magical spells. 13 less, 13 less of you, 13 less of you. So, oh, it says on there, blessed are the poor in spirit. So then you can go 13 blessed are the poor in spirit. Magic spell. For there is the kingdom of heaven. Okay? So the kingdom of heaven is in that lesser realm, the 13th realm of illusion. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. 13 less are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Again, magic spell. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. 13 less are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Basically, he's condemning you to this reality to repeat in this life over and over and over and over again. A magic spell. And it's very interesting that, after he heals all these people with magic, he's putting all these spells on on his disciples. Again, you gotta do your research. Like I said, I'm gonna get blasted for this, and that's just what happens. You have to interpret this stuff. I mean, it's just you're never gonna learn anything if you don't question things, right? Well, you can't question the Word of God. Well, this is a rough translation of the texts, and there is many texts in there. I just learned today, you know, I was talking about Hebrew and Greek, right? That's what I grew up on as Christian. I thought it was just Hebrew and Greek. Where I learned it was from those scrolls are originally from the I'm not one to say the Aztecs, but something like that. The Arab, Arab, something like that. Kemet teachings, um, uh, Ethiopian teachings, somewhere in that area. So yeah. So blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. 13 less are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Basic meaning, they will be fed this illusion. Um, their belief structures and their faith structures will feed them enough to just quench their thirst. They will be fed that thirst. Um, Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. 13 less are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. So basically, you know, you're pretty much you're dumb, you're stupid, and you'll be shown mercy based upon your shallow belief and faith structure. Is that negative viewpoint? No, because that's exactly what this is saying in here. Again, interpretation. Um, looking at this. Um, Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see the gods. Because, like I said, God is plural, so it's the gods. So 13 less are the pure in heart, for they will see the gods. So basically, um, those who are pure of heart will eventually see the gods arrive. Um, and there's a hidden meaning behind there, but I ain't gonna get into that. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the sons of the gods. 13 less are the peacemakers, for they will be called the sons of the gods, or the slaves of the gods. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness. 13 less are those who are persecuted um, because of righteousness. And basically, again, just preaching preaching your own faith and views on things, just like I'm doing right now. You're always going to be persecuted no matter what kind of belief structure you're in. You're always going to be persecuted in some way. Um, but again, it's a spell. Blessed are those who are persecuted. Oh, okay. Uh, Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Anyways, blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsify, say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before me. So 13 less are you when people insult you. So basically, again, um, they talk about the persecution that the prophets talked about before. You know, there has been many talks about the kingdom of heaven, what's to come, so on and so forth. It's been passed along since the dawning of this Bible story, right? And we saw prophets. I can be considered a prophet or a messenger, right? Because it's the same thing. Because that's what I talk about. I am talking about my personal experiences and what I'm experiencing through this. Um, yeah. So that's basically again spells that are put upon you. And you can review this what I talked about earlier. So I'm not going to keep repeating myself. So I can move on. So very interesting, you know, on how it works, and people again will either deny this or they will look deeper into this. That's just what I get. These are the kind of questions I ask. Um, and that's just how I view things. All right, so the next one is, and this will probably be my last one, because it starts to talk about, looks like many different things. So I'll make a good video for next time. So after all the 13 less spells that Christ has put on people, or basically it's not Christ. This would be the Jesus character. Okay, so this would be the Jesus character. Um, Satan that would do this, because this is where things get trippy, in terms of you got Christ the anointed one, and then you got the Jesus character that was created by the Vaticans. So those blessings are not from Christ. Excuse me, and I didn't even think about that after I was saying that. But these would be the devil. This would be Satan's blessings to you. These would be all the spells that are being given to you. Um, Again, I didn't think about that until now. So yeah, so this isn't Christ's blessings. This is Satan's blessings, the Jesus character blessings. So anyways, cleared that up. All right. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled by men. Okay? So, if you are the salt of the earth and it loses its saltiness, so basically if if you preach or share your faith and no one knows it, or no one knows you, basically you just kind of fade away. Your spirit fades away. This is also an interpretation of, discovering spirit and uplifting your spirit and keeping it going. Because if you don't continue to feed your spirit, then it's just going to wither away. Basically, that's the interpretation of that. And that's why it says that you'll be thrown out and trampled by men. So basically, you lose your spirit, and then you'll fall into humans' ways, which is religion, uh, working, politics, money, fame, things like that. You'll lose your flavor and you'll just be trampled upon. You are the light of the world. Okay, now this does not say Christ. This does not say the Jesus character. This is you. Okay, you alone. You are the light of the world. Okay, each individual person is the light of the world. It says right in the Bible, right here. It does not say Jesus. It does not say Christ. It says you are the light of the world. And I've told many people about this, that each person is a light, is a beacon to help bring that light, to bring that focus back to spirit, which is breath. Bring that focus back to the soul, you, what matters most. It's not this vessel, it's not this body, it's your soul. Um, and it says so right in the Bible, so you can't deny that. Okay? You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Okay? So basically, when you are vocal and express your views on life, you cannot be hidden. Just like with me, I talked about the whole thing on Facebook, and they deleted my post, but I was not gone, because you can delete me, but my words will echo through them regardless if it's deleted or not. And that's the same way with any of us. We cannot be stayed hidden. Neither do people. Okay, cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. So no matter what, if you have that light, you have the divine spark. You have that soul lit up within you. No matter if you try to hide it, put a bowl on it, it's going to shine through. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the houses. In the same way, let your light shine before man, you know, for they may see your good deeds and praise your Father in heaven. Which kind of contradicts itself there, because it talks about how you are a beacon, right? It doesn't say anything about Christ or the Jesus character. It just says you are a beacon, and then it focuses on the aspect of God in heaven, and it's so interesting how they say Father, because in the translations it always changes. It either says Lord, God, Father, something like that. So you can tell that the translation is different in some way. Um, and it's the universe, the universal God. Giving praise to the universal God of creation. I'm doing some research on heaven and the Father and God. It has to do with Saturn and the Sun, which is interesting. So Saturn and the Sun in heaven, because you can see the Sun, and it was interesting. I'll make a video about it if I remember. And it was talking about on how in the Garden of Eden it is guarded by fire, and then we have the Father in heaven that you can see, which is the Sun. Well, you can't really see the sun. You can't see the universal sun. But that's what they view. But you can. Okay, if you're new to this, basically the sun you see outside is not the universal sun. The point being is, if you look at the satellite viewpoint of the Earth, 360, you can go YouTube, whatever. You cannot see the sun. Okay, you cannot see the universal sun. So with a telescope, satellite, now being able to see the sun. So what in the world are we looking at, right? we're looking at the reflection of the Earth's sun. Again, you can look up the Earth's sun, uh, the hole on the Earth, underground Earth, whatever you want to do. You can look up the Earth's sun. That's the reflection of the sun that we're seeing. Again, you got to do research. So the Father in heaven. Now, the one, like I said, was Saturn. You can see Saturn um, at certain periods in the year, in the perceived Gregorian calendar year. You can see Saturn. You can see Mercury. You can see Venus. You can see them at certain pinpoints. So, yeah, it's very interesting. So, I will go ahead and end it on that since this video is really long. Hopefully, this video got somewhere. Um, it kind of shows you my interpretations of things. And, it gives you a whole new perceptions of things because, people just read things word for word, but they don't ever overanalyze it. You have to overanalyze it to make sure you're not being deceived. Uh, looking at all the religions and New Age and magic books and all that stuff, reviewing all these things and seeing the manipulation that is brought forth in all of this. They're wanting you to praise and worship something um, instead of, discovering your own personal soul, your own personal self, um, the Christ energy within you. Not the Jesus character, the Christ energy within you, the Epsu energy, the Spirit, which is the breath of life, nature, basically. So, yeah, so I'll go ahead and end it on that. Yeah, just remember, just like it says in the Bible, uh, Matthew 5, chapter 14, or is it? Yeah, yeah, Matthew 5, chapter 14 or verse 14. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how to read these things. But yeah, you are the light of the world. And no matter what you do, a city on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Your light will continue to shine, no matter what you do. Um, so yeah. So I love you all very much. Christ loves you. Yeah, do research, discover, learn, grow, ask questions, and if you have to research the Bible to get your views out there, or be able to talk with people about this, because religions, despite the Bible variations, they still are the same. So whether you're Catholic or what other one is there, a Christian, in those same guidelines, um, the teachings are very similar. So if you review the Bible, you'll be able to say, hey, this is what the Bible said, and this is how I interpret it, and you can't really deny it. So anyway, so yeah, you can review this, and just kind of just ponder and just look at things differently. Realize that this Jesus character or Christ used magic, dark magic, light magic, and he uses spirits around him to help him heal people, and that's just what a magician is. He was a magi, and can't really deny it because it says it right in the Bible. So, if you guys want to leave me feedback, cool. If you guys stuck around for the whole video, awesome. Got any questions, let me know. But yeah, it's just, it's time to start narrowing down everything. That is my whole purpose, is to start narrowing things down because people are still so divided in all their faiths and beliefs. They really are. Again, I've talked about faiths and beliefs, and it's just, it leaves you blind. You have to do your research and discover, what is going on. It is important to find out what's going on. As long as you activated your soul, activated your soul and activated the spirit, which is the breath of the spirit. You're starting your journey. You're starting your spiritual journey. And then when you discover the Christ energy, the Anointed One's energy, um, that crystal energy, when you activate that, then your journey will grow from there. You know, you don't need no books to tell you where you need to go. You just need a starting point. You know, and you know, that's if religion is a starting point for you, awesome. But just start decoding things. That's all I gotta say about that. So yeah, so Christ loves you all. I love you, and keep shining bright. And I'll talk to you in a little bit.